no, 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 can't. My brain. Hello, my loves. Welcome to the official release video and Q&A video of my merch. I've been promoting it, pretty regularly for the last month at least. Hopefully you guys have seen some of it, and I did show just, a little bit because I didn't spoil it. I'm wearing some right now, the Peace Wave hoodie. They'll be backwards in the video because I flipped the video because I can't stand my face the opposite way, even though I'm pretty sure it looks the same to other people. I'm so sorry if I get sidetracked today. ADHD is crazy. And not having it, I just have a million things to do actually, because it's 10:30 in the morning right now. Obviously 6, whatever, when you guys watch this. Hopefully just 6 p.m. I'm gonna really try to aim to upload it on schedule, maybe a little bit early. We'll see. But I have to film this in the day because I can't film anything at night due to my at-home situation, whatever. So you guys had asked me questions on a video that I posted, and I have my laptop right here on this laundry basket, and I'm going to read them in just a minute. But I was thinking that I made a trailer for my merch, and I was hoping that you guys might want to see some, so maybe you would want to buy some. You don't have to buy anything. I'm just, if you want to look at it, great. So, I'm going to show it to you in the trailer. Hopefully, I tried to make the trailer a little interesting, but I'm still learning how to edit and all that, all that kind of thing. So, but I'm going to switch to that in just a moment. But I do want to tell you there's a promo code, and it's ShopWrite, all caps. I'll probably just put it in the description and probably in a pinned comment or something like that, and you can get 15% off your order for the first 24 hours. I would have posted this on a short, I might leave it until tomorrow, sometime or something. But if you want to go buy stuff and get some, money off, then go ahead and check it out. But let's cut to the trailer for a second, okay? So hopefully you guys found that interesting. Hopefully maybe you want to buy some now. I'm not lying to you. This is the best quality sweatshirt I've ever had. It's not too heavy and it's not too light. The inside is kind of fuzzy, so it's nice and warm. I'm actually really too warm right now because the sun's coming through the window and it's cold-ish outside. There was frost, but it's kind of warm in here, so I'm dying. I swear I'm always melting in these videos that I do for you guys because it's hot in the house, and I put on these the witch video I did. I don't know if anyone saw that for my ASMR lovers out there. Also improv lovers, maybe. Because that was entirely improvised. I had no idea. But I was melting in that video. It was so freaking hot, and I had like 4 layers on to have my witch ensemble. So anyway, my nose is itchy. I'm so sorry. And here I have some of my, you probably saw it in the video, it's going to be backwards, but I did put some of my stickers on my little mug. These two are not mine. This is Master Chief, because I love Halo, and that's just a little pudgy reindeer because I love Christmas. Christmas baby. Not a baby. Okay, going into the Q&A then, let's start out with a few normal questions that nobody asked, but I'm just going to say it. So my name's Carol Windsor. It's on all my books. I'm a published author, self-published, writer, a lot of different things. I'm basically the whole production crew for my YouTube videos and for my books. So I edit my books, I write my books, I edit them, I format them. Occasionally I will take photographs for the covers, and I will I will design, designer also, design different things. I design, like mock-ups and whatever, and I designed the banner on my YouTube. So I'm an artist also. I do illustrations. Sometimes I am doing illustrated covers for a series that's not out yet, so it's kind of a first-time thing for me to illustrate a cover. My sister is the only person I really hire to do covers. I'd be willing to hire anyone else. If anyone else wants to do covers for me, that would be awesome. Like, give me a portfolio of your work, and like we could work together. That would be amazing. But she's the only one that really does covers for me. Either that or I do it. So kind of the whole, I'm self-taught. I might answer somebody's question already, but I'm going to say it again later. I'm 20 years old, going on 21. Like I said, Christmas baby. Everyone thinks that I'm 12 years old, which is really annoying. I really, really hate my young face. Not that I hate my face in general, but I hate looking so friggin' young that everyone thinks I'm a teenager, and then they treat me like one. And then there's also a lot of weird creeps out there who are, I've seen them on the internet. I see them face to face in my day job, because I work part-time somewhere. And they think I'm younger than I am, and they hit on me, or they say disgusting things, and I'm like, it just makes it so much worse because they think I'm really young. But I'm not, I'm 20. So I'm actually an adult. I'm also an improv enthusiast, learning, self-learning, self-taught, whatever, because college is just not possible for me, and just not something I want to do because of how I learn. So I'm better learning on my own. So I've learned everything so far that I know how to do on my own. I'm still learning, everything's a learning process. So I designed my merch myself. I drew this and designed it. Some of it is done by my sister, Mary. Well, probably most of it, actually. This lineup, the Peace Wave, was done by me. Gray March, which she did the cover for, which is a book, which you can buy on Amazon. And Where's Mr. Crawley? I swear I can't remember any of the names of my merch things. Agony Hearts, that's one of them. There might have been one more and I don't remember it, but she did the designs for, I commissioned her to do some extra designs for Gray March, which you guys would have seen in the video. So all the other stuff is like illustrations from the actual books or covers, things like that. But the Gray March stickers in particular, and like the thing on the hoodie, the cross, which is Giovanni's cross necklace he has in the book, and it's kind of important. It's it's not majorly important, but it's in the background. It belonged to his brother, which might be a little bit of a spoiler, whatever, but he carries it with him all the way until the end. Very important, religious part of the book, I guess, but the book itself isn't particularly religious, but it is a survival sci-fi horror, and I've gotten a lot of praise on it from like my friends, who, you know, were not just saying it. That I have a friend who really doesn't like sci-fi in particular, and she said that she actually loved it. So you go check that out. I probably left out like other things that I was just gonna be like, oh, this is me, and this is, you know, oh, I'm single. I guess I should mention that, but I'm not looking to date. So, but I make YouTube videos and I make a variety of content because I hate being limited to one niche. So I did put things into playlists recently so you can find different sections of my channel. Like if you're not into ASMR, I completely understand. You can go watch. I have like my monthly musings, which is talking about books and updates for my author stuff. And then I have very minimal improv stuff at the moment, just some shorts and one video. But I'm learning. This is like week 2 of me learning, and I actually have seen a little bit of progress in the videos that I've been filming videos, so I can look back and see how I've improved, and which is crazy to me that I'm like actually seeing a teeny bit of improvement in like 3 days. I only have 3 days to do all the crap that I do because I work the other days, so I don't know. But I watch a lot of improv anyway, so. But it's definitely not just like a passing thing. It's definitely something I want to do. But I also have mental health updates, spill therapy, which is me discussing like mental health things about me, maybe because, you know, I've got ADHD and depression and stuff like dissociation and whatever. But I hate when I say and whatever. It just sounds like I'm dismissing it. But it's not. It's real issues, and a lot of people don't talk about them. I mean, people do, but like, I want to talk about them more, you know, especially as a woman, I want to talk about them because I do see a lot of guys out there talking about this stuff, you know, but I don't see a ton of women talking about their mental health and things like that. So, but spill therapy is also just to discuss, you know, different things that maybe you guys are also going through, and, you know, maybe I can help you guys feel seen, you know. It's always nice to know that you're not alone. So I'm a big like mental health advocate, I'd say. It is ADHD Awareness Month. Remember that. If I wasn't if I had taken a different path and hadn't decided when I was like 14 or something like that to start writing, and that it was the love of my life, and then I started content creating, you know, after that. It hasn't been that long. Probably like a year or two of actually seriously trying to create content. Only this past year, I think, was more serious. You know, when the channel started building up a little bit and stuff like that. But if I hadn't chosen either of those paths, and, you know, things had lined up differently, and I had been able to go to college, I probably would be a therapist because I love helping people. I'm really not the best because of my upbringing on emotions. But I've tried so much. I'm learning so much still, trying to undo things that, you know, happened in the past. So, but I think things that happened in your past actually give you insight on other people's like mental health difficulties, because then you really do understand. But so this way I can get to, you know, hopefully help somebody with some kind of mental health issue, but without being a professional like doctor and whatever, because it just was not in the cards for me. My camera is my phone. My camera is my phone. My camera is tilted. Let's get into the real Q&A questions because this is too long. I realized today I made a mistake in using my Sugar Skull mug, which is very Halloween, but I didn't use my merch mug. I don't know what's wrong with me. I was in a rush to do things this morning, so. Okay. I'm looking over here. First question is, if you could get anyone to make an audiobook of one of your books, who would you choose and why? I don't really know a whole lot of like you mean like an actor or like an author? I don't actually know a whole lot. I don't actually follow or keep up on a lot of like a lot of like celebrity stuff or like anything like that, because a lot of my time is spent doing other things. And when I'm online, I usually watch a very select few creators, very, very minimal. Like Daz watches Off the Hook. Also watched that the other day. It's funny. Shoot from the Hip, improv, different things that I will watch with my sister. You know, Daniel Thrasher and Danny Phantom EXE. I'll watch that by myself. Mary doesn't watch that. But I watch very few like creators. But then also like I don't follow a whole lot of people, so I'm not sure if I had anyone to make an audiobook, who would it be? I think it would just be somebody with a lot of passion for what they do. Like a really good, like somebody who could voice act. One of my big dreams would be to have an audiobook, but it's voiced like a movie or like a play, but it's, you know, obviously there's no visuals, but it's like you have a different voice actor for every single character, and then there's also a narrator. That would be awesome. Like to get a whole crew. That's my, I don't know who in particular, but if I could have a whole crew of audiobook people to like do an audiobook with real feeling, like that would be awesome. That would be cool. But quite honestly, some of the ASMR people I watch would be pretty good at doing like audiobooks, I think. Lynn, ASMR? Maybe? I do really like her. Okay, and I don't know if I answered that question very well because I don't know how to answer that. But big dream would be big group of people doing one book, like a play, and like so it's so interesting, you know. I love that. What's your favorite thing to cook? Your signature dish? Ooh, I love this question. I love to cook so much. I want to do a cooking segment, a monthly video on my channel, but I can't yet because I don't have my own place. But when I do, I'm definitely gonna do that. Okay, so I love to cook people food. It is one of my favorite things. In a way of like expressing that I like care about that person is to give them stuff and to make them food. And also like I love to have people make me food because then I'm like, oh my gosh, because you went through all of this effort for me, you know, like that's just how it feels like when you actually like cook something for someone. So sometimes I'll cook for my sister and sometimes my sister will cook for me, that kind of thing. But favorite thing to cook, so I do cook a lot of Italian dishes because I love Italian food, and I'm learning Italian and all this stuff. Like Italian's awesome. But so I do make chicken caprese. I think it'd be caprese. I think we always call it caprese, but in Italian the E is E, so it'd be caprese. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which is chicken cooked in a pan with like usually salt and pepper, and then I put it aside in a dish, and then you cook little baby tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. You cut them in half, and you cook them with like either fresh garlic, which is much better than powdered garlic, and I do that if it's possible. And then you do like basil, which fresh is still better than like dried, but usually we don't have it unless it's the summer and we grow it. But all of our herbs are dead. And then you kind of like cook that in a balsamic vinegar sauce, and then you put the chicken in, and then you do mozzarella on top, and it's really good. And you can serve it with noodles or rice or bread, and you just like can sop up some of the sauce with the bread and the noodles, and it's really good. And like pretty much everybody in the house loves it. It's one of those things that like my mom can make, but she always has to come and like ask me. Like it's not that hard to make, I guess, but she doesn't make it a lot, so she's always like, could you make this for dinner, or like you have to help me. So that's kind of nice. But my signature dish thing that like the things that I can make and not screw up, because sometimes I will forget stuff while I'm cooking and it's so bad and I get so mad at myself. But it would be tiramisu. So another Italian dessert is so easy to make actually, and all of my friends like go crazy for it. My whole family is like loves it so much, like it's just gone so fast. I made it for my friend's birthday recently, and they loved it so much because they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you made this, and it just made me so happy. Like, we had tiramisu at an authentic Italian restaurant in where we live, and it just made me so happy that my friend said that my tiramisu was better than that tiramisu. So I'd say that's my signature dish, I guess, that and chicken caprese. Also cheesecake. I can make cheesecake bars, but I haven't made an official like cheesecake, like round cheesecake. But I could, same recipe. It's not that much of a difference. So yeah, I can make cheesecake and not screw it up, and people love that. They say they like it better than most of the store-bought cheesecake because it's fresh. When it's fresh, it's so much better. That was too long because I love cooking. I was trying to keep these questions like to a minimal, so let's try to keep them minimal. Have you ever read a book that you absolutely hated with a passion? Like the kind that makes you want to throw it across the room? I don't know. I might have. That's a really funny question. No, because I feel like there is one and I can't remember it because I probably forgot it instantly. I probably went, oh my gosh, I hate this. And oh, okay, so it's kind of dumb, but there was a Scooby-Doo. If you guys know what Scooby-Doo is, I love Scooby-Doo. But there was this Scooby-Doo book, so like people will write books, like, and it's like a Scooby-Doo mystery kind of thing. So I read it kind of when I was younger, like as a teen, but it's one of those where it's like, there's like a clue, and you get to choose, like, flip to this page if you choose this, flip to this page if you choose that. So it was interesting, but it was written, and I'm gonna say it whatever it's from. I think it's first person. Is the characters are talking to you, or it's like you go and do whatever you say. This any book that's written like that, I hate it with a passion. I cannot stand that because it'd be like, you go upstairs into the disgusting dark attic, and I'm like, no, I don't. Why would I do that? But no, yeah, that book, I hated it. I read it, but I hated it. There's another one. I swear there's another one. I think it's more of like I hate characters in certain books. The book itself would have been good, but like one of the main characters was absolute trash and they didn't get better, or like they got better like way too slow, so I lost interest. So at the moment I can't think of one other than that Scooby-Doo book. It's a funny question though. What's something that made you feel really proud of yourself recently? Oh, that's actually a good question. Probably like, yeah, just like getting my shit together and like making merch and actually finishing stuff on time. I'm not proud of myself a lot, I'd say, but I actually recently, yeah, I've started to I'm like, you do a lot of stuff. You do deserve to feel proud of yourself, for the different things that you do. So, I'm really happy that I finally got my merch together and I did that, all of that. I was pretty proud that I actually, because I do have social anxiety, I did go in person to my local library and I gave them a flyer for my improv thing. I set up my improv group. I doubt anyone is going to attend. I'm going to be so embarrassed when nobody attends. But at the same time, I am proud of myself for like, not just sitting there and saying it. Because there's so many people that sit there and like, I want to do that. And I used to do that all the time. And now I'm more like, I'm going to do that. And I do it. And I'm actually like really proud of myself for that part of me now. That I'm like, I'm going to do that and I do it. Or there's so many things that I would be scared to do before, and now I'm just like so much more brave, and I'm pretty proud of myself for that, I'd say. So yeah. I love you, by the way, this person that comments. Jafiki91. They always comment such sweet stuff. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, I'm not sure. Somebody asked, did you take creative writing classes? So I kind of answered it before. I'm self-taught. So actually, when I was like 14, I think I did take a little, it was like a disc We bought it from like the Great Courses, if you know what that is. And I did very briefly, while I watched like a few lessons. But other than that, it was like just enough to give me the like confidence and start to what I was doing. And that was about it. Like, I think it was just like notes, like learning how to do notes and like what works. So some people don't need notes. I definitely do need notes. Otherwise, I have no idea what I'm doing, even if they're very vague. I do have very vague notes sometimes. Sometimes I don't understand my own notes. I'm like, what in the world? Like, I wrote it so long ago, and when I read it, I'm gonna have a really bad time reading some notes for some like an old superhero series. I really want to write it, but I'm actually dreading going through the notes because I wrote it a long time ago, like years ago, I think, the notes for it. At least for book 1, 2, I think it's 1, 2, and 3. I think I have books 1, 2, and 3 already, all notes written out, plot points at least, but I'm gonna have a really hard time. How does your family feel about one of their own being a published author? I love my family so much. Like, I really do. A lot of people get the idea, because I do post some stuff about, like kind of family related, that I like hate them or something. I've tried to be like really forgiving when I can. Some things, like, I like to say, you can forgive people, but you're allowed to still be hurt. You're allowed to still be hurt by what they did, but you can still forgive them. A lot of people are like, that doesn't make sense. That means you're not letting go if you're hurt, but it just means you don't hate them and you don't like hold it against them. I mean, I don't know, like, sometimes you can't understand why people did what they did or how they did it or whatever, but you can at least, move on and not be super bitter. I feel like I am a little bitter about certain things and I'm trying to not be, but it's a process, right? It takes a long time sometimes to like just finally get over things. I mean, I could say like, yeah, I forgive my parents, whatever, for different things, not that I ever done anything like really wrong to me. Okay. So before you think I've been like, like, I don't know, physically abused, somebody asked me that or whatever, I'm like, no, but it's more of like a mental thing. So, and that's a lot of problems. A problem that people have with their parents anyway is just like all the mental games and gaslighting and crap that just, just things that you can look back on and go, oh, I would have done that better, but, whatever. So what I always say is that, like, I love my family so much. I'd still visit them. I love to talk to them, I'd love to still like text them like all the time if I weren't living here. But I don't want to live with them. So, because it does hinder some of my, just my life in general. But how do they feel about me being published? I have no idea, because, communication is not good. My sister, Mary, who's done covers for me, like I mentioned, she's probably the only one who's like supportive and like actually, acts like she cares. She does care, she's, of course, I think she has also, like me, has an issue expressing emotion because it wasn't really something we were taught growing up. We were told to suppress it and to just be happy. So, but she is trying her best, and I do see that. And, she does things and she wants to celebrate with me when I publish a book. So, that's really sweet. And, she's just amazing. And I love her so much. But the rest of my family, I have no idea. Like, my mom has been like, oh, I'm proud of you, but like through a text. So it's not the same. I think it's just my parents have an issue expressing emotion themselves. So, but it makes a lot of things hard. So, and the rest of my siblings, I have no idea. Like, I don't think they really care. Like, in general, in my family, if it's not making you money, it's not really a big deal. It's not really worth it or whatever. And that's just like the vibe. So I'd say they don't, from what I observe, because they don't like really tell me anything or talk to me about it. or ask about it or want to celebrate, I'd say they don't particularly care, which is sad. Because if you're a published author, you deserve to be celebrated, because that is like such an awesome achievement. If you have published a book, or you've even just written a book, then I'm so proud of you. I really am. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of yourself. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of brain power, and I'm just really proud of you. What type of merchandise are you going to sell? Oh, well, hoodies, like a phone case, stickers. There's like a phone case, I think, or maybe two. I don't know. Don't really care about phone cases, but stickers, definitely stickers, hoodies, shirts, for the most part, mugs. That's about it. It showed in the video, but that's not everything. There's so much more that I didn't show because I didn't buy everything, because I can't. You know, I'm pretty broke and I'm trying to buy a car. So, what got you into trying acting is really hard sentence to read. It's not. It says, what get you into trying acting? I'm sorry. What got me into trying acting? It's always something I've loved, and it's just always been there, like underneath the surface. And I've always been, when I did POVs, doing like slightly acting, you know, I was like, oh, I just like, I love it so much. Like, I want to be able to do it. And it's just something that's been like, you know, just like living inside me that I always wanted to do. Because even looking back to when I was a kid playing stories, I was like way too into it, like just for like playing. And my brothers were always like so annoyed, because like they just want to, you know, they just want to have fun, but like I want to be like dramatic, and I want to be like, you know, whatever, like actual make good crazy plot points and whatever. But I'd say like what got me into improv acting is Shoot from the Hip, because I started watching them and I was just like, I like had never seen any improv anything before, and just watching them, I was like, you know, oh my gosh, like this is what I want to do. It was just like kind of like a light bulb. I was like, I don't want to be like a Hollywood actor, you know, like, but I'm like, I do want to do that. I do want to do improv. I don't know if I'm going to do, never mind, there's a question about it. They said, have you done some acting before? So other than just like, you know, random stuff, like for my, you know, like for my ASMR stuff, I've done, you know, technically improv, whatever, unscripted. So no, not really. I mean, I used to put on little plays for my family, but that's just kind of like a normal thing. But we used to do like full on like play night. We'd have like our little piano, and we'd have music, and then we'd have little like pamphlets, and we'd do little stories. So that was fun. Do you have a favorite genre or acting type? So that's what I was going to say, is that Shoot from the Hip is like mainly comedy, but I love it when they do drama, like, but like horror and stuff like that, like heavier stuff. They tend to steer away from it because they want to be funny. But like I love that stuff. So I feel like, while I like to watch comedy because it makes me laugh so much, you know, like I don't laugh enough, it feels like, even though I do, I laugh at everything. Because my natural thought state is to be happy and to laugh, even though I'm like depressed as hell most of the time. I'm okay right now. I'm okay. I'm good. But I think if I were gonna do improv, and if I were gonna do like, I really would love to have a troupe, like a group. I'd want to do comedy because I want to make people laugh, but also like, and I feel like it would end up comedy with other people, especially other people that if I got along with them really well, I'm like really hoping to find some like really good like improv friends or something. People who are really passionate and really like, you know, open, of course, like really, you know, can listen. That's like a big, huge part of improv, listening and working together. But I think I would probably lean more drama, actually, like whatever action. I'm not sure. You know, like serious stuff. I would end up wanting to be the villains. Like I always want to act as villains, or as like somebody dying, or as like something weird, or a dude. I don't know. I just don't want to be in the like, I mean, I could be in like stereotypical, you know, I'm your mother kind of role, but like I just prefer like all the weird stuff, like, and villains and all the drama and the really crazy plots, if I could think them up on the spot. So, probably more like drama. It'd probably be a comedy drama kind of thing. If you could act on any movie, TV show, play, what would it be? Shoot from the hip. I don't know if that really counts as it said play. They do plays. Shoot from the hip. Big dream, impossible dream. Would be to be a guest on Shoot from the Hip on one of their plays. Even though when they have a fifth person, it does get a little cluttered and it gets a little crazy, and I don't like them as much. But if they were to ever, like, if I were to ever get good and have a portfolio of acting, and I could reach out to them and I could say, hey, I will fly myself to London, and I'll pay for my stuff, whatever, and as long as you guys provide the, I don't know about like microphone stuff, I have no idea, or whatever, if you guys would want me to be there, then I can act with you guys. I feel like I might be a little out of place because just, it's about improv, mainly about working together, but then like also like the friendship really helps. So like I feel like I'd probably be kind of out of place, and they probably think I'm way too young or way too inexperienced. But that is like a big dream of mine now, is that someday, and you gotta dream big, you really do, like even if it seems impossible, why not? Maybe someday. That would be awesome. So awesome. I would like to make if someone ever made a movie about one of my books, I'd like to make a cameo as like a random character. That would be awesome. Just having my book made into a movie would be awesome. Gray March. Anybody looking for any new movie ideas? Gray March. There are no producers watching this. How many books have you written? I didn't actually answer that because I knew there was I didn't say that at the beginning because I knew there was a question. I like briefly looked at it, but I was pretty sure. I have written, well, let me say, I've published 12. So I published my first one in 2022, and then I published like something like 3 to 4 each year. This year, I've published 5, which is nuts. Like, I can't believe, like, I'm proud of myself for that. Somebody asked me, that question earlier. I'm really proud of myself for that. But I will have book number 6 coming out in November, and I'll be posting some stuff after all this merch release things about it. Another poetry book, actually. But so that will be book number 13. I will have 13 books by the end of 2025, and it's just absolutely nuts. Like, I can't believe I have written that many books in such a short time. Like, that's just 3 years. It's nuts. So yeah, but how many I've written? I've actually technically written 14 because I have Hypothermia is being edited, revised, very last stages actually of revision going into, I'm going to format it once I'm done. So, and I'm aiming to have that out sometime early next year, 2026. But we'll see how it goes. Just like, I'm not in a rush for it. I have a lot of things happening. Holidays are coming, that kind of thing. It's, but I'm working on it slowly. So not a big rush for that. So I've technically written 14 books. And then I am writing, if you count, I count them. If you count my short Sable episodes, I've actually written 5. So I would count those each as a book, even if they're a very short book. But they definitely need some major editing and stuff. And I'm on episode 6 now. Just started it. Finally, like, figured out how to start it. I sit there forever trying to figure out how to start an episode. But episode 6. 6 of 14. So I've written 5 of 14. But exciting. So if you count those 5, I don't know how many books it is. Wait, 14 plus 5, 19. That's nuts. Do you like anime, manga at all? Yes, I friggin' do. I really do. I just started getting into it this year. A lot of things I started just like getting into, learning. just because I've always wanted to, and then I just decided, instead of saying like I want to do that, I'm gonna start doing it. So my friend introduced me to some manga, and some of it I don't like, so I decided to just, we have very different like tastes and stuff. She likes more fantasy, I like more of like the non-stop action. She likes some of the like romance ones and stuff, and I do like romance, but I prefer ones that are like action and romance. So just like something interesting, fast-paced. Jungle Juice is like my absolute favorite manga I've ever read. Unfortunately, they don't have I don't think the next book is out yet. I think it's coming out the end of this year. Book 7. I read up to book 6. It is amazing. I love it. I love the action. I love the, I don't think it's quite romance yet, but it's hinted at, a little bit. And the characters are absolutely amazing. And the whole theme of it is awesome. So, I mean, actually, I said I like anime, but I don't think I've watched an anime, but like I've seen, anime clips and different things. I like know certain things about certain animes. I'm reading Black Butler, so I'll probably finish that, and then I'll watch the anime. Even though some people, my friend said the anime is nothing like the books, but that's okay. I'll, do both. It's all right. I don't know what's going on in my hair today. Something dumb. Something dumb. In my country, it's something dumb. Something. I'll say do. I realized recently, I say, because I've been paying attention to my accent, I just realized I say do. I do a lot of things, do and to. Got that Virginian drawl. I decided to accept it as quirky. Not quirky, but as who I am. Make the stupidest faces. How did you start writing? I started writing. That is about it. Honestly, to start writing, why is my nose so itchy? To start writing, my face is really itchy. I'm really sorry. I need to like put something on my face, some moisturizer or something. I don't know. I just started writing. My first ever, I want to try to write a book, was based off of a story that me and my brother played with like little cat beanie babies. So it was about cats, talking cats. I still think it would have been an interesting story, but I'm not really into like the whole talking animals thing anymore. But it would be cool to like make maybe a short story based off of that, just to like maybe honor my very start. But I don't know, not really something I want to do anymore. So it's fine being scrapped. And then after that, because I gave up on it, I didn't know how to do notes. But then after that, I started a different book, which was, I don't remember much of it. I think I threw away the notes for it. Anyway, and then I didn't finish that because I wasn't really into it. And then I think I stopped to learn a little bit. I took some courses, and courses, but that course that I mentioned, that was like it. And I just did research. I looked up stuff. Just looked up all kinds of things, was learning vocabulary, whatever, in school. I was still, in school. And then just, like one day I was playing a story with my little brother, with like Marvel action figures, and it was a lot of fun, and it was kind of like it was goofy, but it was like also a horror story. And that is actually what inspired me for my very first book, Eastman's Bell and the Belmont Estate. Actually, Eastman's Bell, not the Belmont Estate, because Eastman's Bell was, I thought it was too short at the time, and I had an idea for a second part. So I did the Belmont Estate as a sequel. So, but it's all together in one book. So 2 kind of short-ish stories. And obviously going back and reading it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is definitely written by a, like a teenager. I need to it's like I've improved a lot, and I can tell. But it's still good. I still like it, because it was my first book and I love it. So I just started writing by writing, and then just being inspired by random stories and random stuff. So yeah, if you want to start writing, literally just start writing. Also, like, if you want to write a full story, make notes. Make notes. Know where you're going to, not necessarily where you're going to start, but know your ending. If you know your ending, everything else will eventually fall into place. That's my advice. How did you get into ASMR? I watched ASMR for like a really long time, like since I was a teen. I stumbled upon it one day. I think it was Honeybee ASMR was the first one I ever watched, and I was like, this is weird. But then I just, eventually, and then I was like, oh, like, but everyone else doesn't think it's weird. And then I kind of liked it, and I ended up watching like Scottish Murmurs ASMR, I think. She's pretty good. It's a different one. I don't remember her name. She's also like Scottish or Irish or something. I like people with foreign accents. But then, I think I told this story before in my other Q&A. I was starting my content on YouTube, and I'm like, this is not what I want to do. I want to do ASMR. And then, of course, now I have different formats and stuff. I'm not strictly ASMR because I felt kind of restricted. But I was just like, I want to do ASMR. And I know my family's going to think it's weird if they find out, which they don't. But I really wanted to tell Mary, because I'm like, Mary is like my sister, but she's my best friend, and I want to tell somebody. I want to ask somebody's opinion. So I had texted her while I was at work, and I was actually like so emotional about it at the time. Like, I thought she was gonna like think I was weird, and she was gonna like, hate me, because she's like the only person that I really, really am close to. Because I was like sitting in the break room at work texting her, and I was crying, but then she came back and she told me, she's like, I don't really know what ASMR is, I've seen a little bit of it, whatever, but like, honestly, I'm gonna support you in whatever you want to do, of course within reason, as long as it's not like messed up or perverted or something like that. But and it made me so happy, and it's just like, it's kind of like one of my favorite memories now. Despite how like sad I was, like, I wasn't like sad, it was just like so nervous, and like really, really scared, I guess. And I shouldn't be, because it's just ASMR, it's to help people sleep. And I explained it to her, and but just her response was so nice, so sweet. And I think that's all the questions, except for this one at the very bottom, which is really dumb. It says, is your name Jennifer? Oh, matter of fact, I am. It's Jennifer Lawrence? No, if I'm Jennifer Lawrence, everyone would hate me. I don't know why, but I don't care. I don't mind Jennifer Lawrence. She's in the Hunger Games, right? I like the Hunger Games. I like the first one. I don't think I've seen it. I might have seen the second one. Should watch it. Coffee is gone. Okay, so that's all the questions. It weren't like, a load of questions, but it's a pretty long video because I talk way too much. But I hope to do more like Q&As with you guys in the future. Even if I answer the same questions, I'd still love to interact with you guys. That's why I'm like constantly asking questions on my channel, because I like to put stuff out there for people to see, but I also like to engage people and like see what they think. Like, I'm constantly asking like oh, excuse me. Constantly asking, like, well, what do you think of this? Or like, what should I, should I post stuff like this? What kind of content do you guys want to see? My earbud. And like, honestly, if you guys want to comment anything like that in the comments of this video, like, what type of content do you want to see more of? I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway, but like, if I know that you guys want a certain type of content or you suggestions for videos, then I'm gonna take them into consideration, and typically I do them, as long as they're not weird or make me feel uncomfortable or inappropriate or something like that. Or like way too bizarre. Some people suggest some really bizarre ASMR stuff before, and I'm like, not doing that. Like, it seems kind of like kinky when they suggest certain things, and it seems like a weird fetish, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So, I think I cut my hair again a little bit. Wow, my face is so itchy. But if you guys have suggestions for like my monthly musings, you want me to talk about certain things, certain book related stuff, certain tropes, writing, whatever. I kind of want to do themed videos for that, not just talking about my progress, just briefly mention my progress and talk about other stuff. I mean, I have ideas, but I want to know your guys' ideas. Also about the mental health stuff, like you ask me questions, you can, for spill therapy, you can, just like comment whatever. I might post stuff in the future asking you guys for suggestions of what you want me to talk about and those things, because I just want to know what you guys think. And ASMR, I always have ideas for ASMR, even if they're the most random crap. I can always do roleplay ASMRs, and they're actually really good for my brain, for my improv also, because typically, as long as I don't get interrupted by stuff, usually I cut because of stuff. Or if my ADHD is really bad, I just stare for a while, and then I like come back online, and I'm like, okay, here we go, yeah, go again. I just need to space out for a moment or something. Or I'm distracted. Sometimes it's distracting things. But it's really good for improv, because usually I turn on the camera and I just go, and I don't try to like think ahead of time of what I'm going to say. I mean, usually I have like, trigger things for the ASMR to use. But other than that, I usually just go, and I just think up random dialogue. Usually it's pretty unhinged. And I'd love to try to like do funny voices, but it's kind of hard when you whisper. It's actually really hard to do funny voices when you whisper. But I'm definitely going to try to do more improv stuff if I can. I would love to have the freedom to be as loud and obnoxious as I can possibly be, because I really can be. But, and also my clip-on mics, they work better when I'm like a little bit louder, but I feel like I talk at a certain volume just so people don't hear me, because I'm alone in this room and people are going to be like talking to myself, and they're going to be like, you're nuts. They already think I'm nuts, I'm pretty sure. They think I'm insane. They also don't think I do anything. So dumb. So yeah, I'm going to try to do some improv stuff when I can. Just kind of like documenting anyway my journey of like, what I'm learning and how I'm learning it a little bit. Just whatever I'm comfortable with, though, because some things I just don't feel like being comfortable with. I mean, I don't know. I'm starting to not really like, after a certain point, once you've done social media for like a bit, like posting and all that, you just get to a point where you're like, I don't really care, like what dumb people think, what like rude people are gonna say, and you just, you're like, whatever. And I think hate is really funny, like when people comment hate on my stuff, which isn't very often. And honestly, I don't know why. It's really weird. Honestly, sometimes I'm disappointed. I'm like, oh, come on, where's the hate? Like, I want to see it, and I want to laugh at it, and I want it to, like, fuel me to do more stuff, because I love proving haters wrong. It is so much fun. I used to have people all over my Instagram, which I don't post to very much, because Instagram's, like, friggin' stupid most of the time. But they would just be constantly be like, you can't do whatever because you have social anxiety. You can't possibly blah, blah, blah because you have, I don't know if they were doing the ADHD thing at the time. It was kind of recent that I, am being open about my ADHD or whatever. But it was mostly the social anxiety thing. They said I can't possibly be a writer because I have ADHD, because I have social anxiety. And that means basically that I'm locked in my house constantly, is what they like assumed. And I'm like, I go out. As an introvert, I people watch, and I watch things. I absorb so much stuff, and that's what makes me a good writer. Honestly, reading just makes you a good writer. I read for like from the moment that I could read everything in our house repeatedly, like over and over again. Anyway, because I ran out of books to read. So, but anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Very long video. If you made it to the end, then thank you. You're awesome. Thank you so much for your questions. If you ask questions, thank you. Feel free to ask me more questions in the future or in the comments or whatever, like, I remember what I said about the suggestions. So merch is out. If you guys want to check it out, don't forget about the promo code. I'll be putting it in the description and all that. I might also mention my sister in the description. check out Shoot from the Hip because I mentioned them a bit in this video. I'm not going to tag them because they probably wouldn't be very, like, they wouldn't care anyway, but they're not going to see it. You know, big creators, they don't see anything. I would. If I became famous, I'd see your stuff. I would comment on your stuff. I just can't comment all the time. So if I don't respond to all of your comments and I just like them, I've seen them, you know, and I appreciate them, but not all the time can I respond to everything. Sometimes I don't have it, I can't think of anything to say, or I'm too tired, or, you know, I hope you guys understand that. So, but anyway, this is so exciting. I'll be celebrating later. I got myself sparkling cider, which is my go-to celebration drink. So that way it's special. I get it for my book releases and things like that. I'm trying one I haven't tried before. I think it's like a red grape. Tried that. Should try that. I'm gonna try it, but I'm gonna wait until later. I thought I might wait until Mary gets home from work, but I don't know. I might try some later. Maybe I might just watch a movie and get a snack and pour myself some sparkling cider after I finish all the million things that I have to do. I have to edit this video, which I really hate editing videos the day I film them, and this is a really long video. I'm really mad at myself for that. But I'm going to do some other stuff, I think, before I edit it, just so, my brain gets a little bit of a break. I need some food, too. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thank you so much if you check out my merch. I'm really grateful for all of you. I can't speak. All of you, and I'm really thankful for all of you. It's because I've been doing weird voices, and accents, and I can't speak. Trying to do London accents, and I can't really talk like a normal person anymore, because then I start doing a London accent or something like that, and it's not, I don't know if that's a London accent, it's not a London accent, it's a UK accent of some kind, and it is really, really bad, really terrible. It is not a very good British UK accent. I don't know what to call it. I have no idea. Anyway, I hope you guys stay healthy, and I hope you stay happy, and I hope you get some sleep, and I hope you eat at least one meal today, and drink water, lots of water. I've been drinking water. Drinking lots and lots of water. It's very good for you, and it helps you stay healthy. I'm so glad I could share this celebration with you guys. Obviously, I'm not celebrating yet exactly, but I'm hyped. But and I'm really happy. Even if I don't seem like I'm really, I don't know, if I seem like I'm really happy, but I am. I told you I don't express very well. Big challenge for improv is that I don't express well. So, relearning things, emotions. I'm gonna go rip off this sweatshirt because I am melting through my clothes. Don't forget to check out the merch. It's linked in my links are in my bio, and I'll put it in the description and probably in a comment or something like that, so you can find it all. Thank you so much.